You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver media podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, good morning and hello, kids. Welcome to the first Eager Beaver morning show of a brand new year. It's 2023, and as Anne Shirley would say, or somewhat would say, it's a brand new year with a bright, fresh new year with no mistakes in it just yet. So let's try to make some. All right. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronounced he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver, eh? And I'm very glad that you have joined us to kick off the new year, dearest kits. Today is Monday, January 2nd, 2023. And if you see behind me, I am definitely not at the Beaver Lodge. I'm in Toronto visiting family for the new year, and there's a Starbucks not that far away, and I'm upstairs there. So I'm not on the best of bandwidth, so we might have a couple of issues and a little bit of delays, but if you're patient with us, we're going to try and do a good show for you today. Let's see. Thank you to our podcast's founding sponsors, the Pepper Master, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com for their stalwart support. We love you. Thank you very much for having our backs. And I'm flying out the script today, kits, as you can tell, because my intro is not as smooth. But before we continue, let's say hello to our podcast's fine, furry, and fun friend. Good morning, Mr. Grizzly. How are you today? And how's your mental health?
Good morning, Mr. Beaver. Mental health is actually surprisingly solid still for a number of days now, so I'm pretty happy to say that. Physical health it could be better. I'm fighting off a bit of a head cold, sinus infection sort of thing that I get usually around this time of the year. So I felt physically better, but emotionally I'm in a great place. So I'll take it. I'm just kind of if somebody said, "Are they promoting you?" I go, "No, it's to reduce the glare." But if Rode wants to give us some money or some product, we'll happily take it. But I'm just trying to reduce the glare so I don't shine a bright light in everybody's eyes, you know. So yeah, feeling better today than I have in the last two. I got plenty of rest over the last couple of days. Watched a lot of football yesterday, and this morning just sipping coffee, spending some time with you, my good friend, and discussing what the world has brought us, and what will it bring us. We don't know.
Indeed. I'm going to try and pass the audio through my earbuds. So if you can keep chatting a little bit, Mr. Grizzly.
Yeah,
I would
no
appreciate
problem.
that.
Just give me a sec here. I got to blow my nose, so. I didn't want to blow my nose in anybody's ears for those who are listening on the audio-only version.
Yes, Mr.
I did get to the pharmacist. I picked up a couple of things, so thanks, Shelley. I appreciate that. Can you hear me now, sir? Because I know you're switching to a headset, so that may or may not work. We'll see. You got to change your audio output on the settings there to make sure it works well. Sometimes, technology can be a bit of a challenge, right? So that's the thing. When we're broadcasting remote or from home, you never know how things are going to go because network issues can create problems. It's just how it is. Oh, yeah, I guess the drugstores can prescribe stuff today, right? So I went to a pharmacist and said, yeah, I got a bit of a sinus infection. They could probably prescribe something to me, but yeah, I get them all the time. I do use the, saline rinses where you squirt it up your nose. It's kind of nasty, but I'll tell you what, it helps relieve pressure and pain quickly. I just need to pick up some more distilled water. So when I go back to the drugstore today, I'll pick up a big jug of distilled water because you can't use regular tap water. You have to boil it, let it cool, and then you let it sit in the fridge, and then you let it go back to room temperature, and then you add the saline to it, and it's a lot of work. The rinses really do help. They really do help. So what would I use? Oregano oil, and how would I use that, Elaine? I don't believe I'd put that up my nose, would I? Do I just ingest it, or what's the deal with that? I've never heard of that before. I'll give, pretty much anything a try, except for if anybody suggests urine therapy, I'm going to come to where you are and smack you for it, okay? I'm not injecting urine, drinking, smelling. No, urine is supposed to go out of your body, never in, ever. Ever, ever, ever. It's a glorious Monday morning here. And the forecast today, I think, what day? This is Tuesday. I'm all screwed up by the days of the week because the holiday mixes things up, especially when it's pushed a day. So today's forecast is nothing to get too excited about, but tomorrow, it's changed. It was supposed to be 9 on Wednesday, and now it's only 1. So it might actually turn into winter again. So it's going to be overnight tonight is 1. Tomorrow morning be 1, minus 14 overnight, which means we're going to have a lot of ice everywhere come Thursday morning, or Wednesday morning, I should say. So that's just wonderful, isn't it? Everybody likes to have a skating rink to go to school and work on, right? No, nobody does. Absolutely nobody. It's Monday today. Tomorrow's Tuesday. See, I'm all screwed up. I don't know what the hell's going on. Thanks for letting me know. Been off for a couple of days, right? So a few drops of oregano oil in hot water and give it a sip, and that should do the trick, eh? Okay, well, I'll give that a try. Where can I get oregano oil? Well, do I have to go to a grocery store or like a health food center or something like that? Because I have no idea. This is Monday, not Tuesday. Yeah, it is Monday because we're doing a show. That should be my first clue. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. See, I'm just completely mixed up. Maybe it's the NyQuil talking. Is it the NyQuil? Probably the NyQuil. I'm going to need more coffee in a minute or two, I can tell you that. So how is everybody feeling? How was everybody's New Year's? Was it good? Was it happy? Was it joyous? Is anybody terribly hungover? I was in bed long before the midnight strike of the clock. I was feeling this, so, nothing to get excited about there. I think I was in bed at around 9:30, maybe 10 by the time I fell asleep, so that's just how it goes sometimes, When you get older and you care less about New Year's Eve than you once did. And it's not that I ever really cared that much about New Year's Eve. I was a working DJ, so for me it was a working night. That's all it ever was just a working night. And then when I stopped working it, everybody's like, let's go to here. So I went out one year. I took a year off back in the 90s. I didn't want to work that New Year's. I decided I wanted to have it off and see what it was like to go out. And we went out to dinner to a restaurant that was packed. The food that I got was cold. They gave me a steak knife to cut my steak that couldn't cut butter because it was so dull. The service was terrible because they had a short staff and they were, overwhelmed because of the New Year's crowd. And I thought, yeah, this is not the least bit fun. So that was the last time I went out on New Year's Eve. Ever since then, I've just literally worked it or went to a house party or just like the last few years, just hung out at home and watched a little TV. No, I don't. No, sorry, Pasta Gabe, not possible for me. I don't use any substances that are illegal. I've never been high outside of surgery, and I've never voluntarily been ingested anything that would be for a recreational purpose. It's not what I do. The only drugs I ever take are prescribed by a doctor or whiskey or wine or beer, of course, because alcohol is technically a drug. So, Mr. Beaver, I think you've got some sound now. Is that correct?
You in the headset? Can you hear me speaking?
Yes, I can. We've got a long delay, so I'll try to be quiet and not talk over you. Check and see that your echo cancellation is on for
All
audio.
right.
And that echo cancellation and noise suppression, and we should be good to go. Oh, the smoke machine. Yeah, that might have. Yeah. Except I've had this since I was a child, Gabe. How you doing, sir? You got her figured? Let me get some coffee into me. I need some coffee.
The audio menu. Well,
yeah, just turn on noise cancellation. Don't worry about the echo. The echo is not bad at all. Just noise cancellation is all you want to turn on. That should make the difference. The bandwidth flips and flops. Yeah, he's at a Starbucks this morning, Mike. So, yeah, that's the problem, Clayton or Tony. He's at a Starbucks remote. So sometimes the Wi-Fi connection can be a little bit wonky, to say the least. Yeah, he's got his headset plugged in, but it's giving him problems, it would seem. Are you using a Bluetooth headset, sir? Because if it's Bluetooth, that can be problematic. You need a plug-in usually. Oh, he's disappeared. So I'll just keep the boat afloat for a few more minutes while he pops back in. It's technology's great when it works. It doesn't always work that well. And I mean, I'm sure I would not be the only one to say I've had to go to a public Wi-Fi in a Starbucks on more than one occasion to connect for a meeting over the last few years. And as it turns out, their Wi-Fi can be quite good, and sometimes it just isn't. You're coming in loud and clear now, sir. You're good to go now. I can hear every mouse click. Can hear your mouse click and the keyboard. Can hear everything you're doing. Just go ahead and say hello. Maybe he can't hear me. I'm just typing messages back and forth to him here. We have a private message system here so that we can stay in touch with one another when we don't need to, relay information to everybody else in the world. Because you're loud and clear. You're loud and clear. I'm just typing him a message. Oh, he's not getting the messages. He's got to type them on his phone. Let me just type him a message. Yeah,
all right.
It seems like the bandwidth issues. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, then I'll just keep talking whenever we have the chance. All right. Are you saying anything right now, though? I don't see your lips moving.
All you.
All me. All right. Wow. What a great debut, kids. When I said let's make some mistakes, I wasn't kidding. Okay. In the headlines today, well, when we said on the last show we were talking about some people who hadn't, we said that was enough. Clearly, it wasn't enough when it comes to the end of the 22, because before the year was out, Pope Emeritus Benedict XVIth did pass away around 9:30 p.m. local time. apparently he was suffering at the end of cardiac failure, and that's why he had people watching him and with him at the time when we did our last show. He will be lying in state for about 3 days, and the funeral will be taking place on Thursday. Of course, because it was so sudden, there are a lot of people who have been able to show up yet to walk past the body and pay their respects. Some people are choosing to spin that or interpret that as a sign that he wasn't particularly well loved. He was nicknamed as the Pope's Filer, and he was accused of quote unquote mishandling the sexual abuse allegations. Other people, depending on your point of view, would say that he handled them just fine for the purposes of the church. Yeah, was that mishandled, or was that the plan? Some would say, but we're not supposed to speak ill of the dead, so we'll just leave that question lingering, and we'll let you decide. But yes, he will be laying in state, and the funeral will be on Thursday. He was the first pope in 600 years to resign back in 2003 or 2013, sorry, when his health was failing. How it is that they're going to do all of this, how big the ceremony will be, how much pomp and pageantry is still left to be determined. Also, Barbara Walters, unfortunately, also passed away. I believe she was 93. And of course, she was the pioneer because she was the first female network anchor on U.S. News in history. And over the course of her 5-decade career, she won 12 different Emmy Awards for everything that she's done. She's very famous for her Most Fascinating People year-end special, which started at some point in the 90s, and it was in the 1997, I believe, that she had started The View, which is still on TV on ABC. She was the co-creator of that.
It's 25 years.
There's 25 years, exactly. And there's something going around on YouTube at the moment when she resigned or stepped down from being on The View Daily. Basically a parade of every major female news anchor in the United States, presently or past active, still alive, had paraded in. I think there was no fewer than 30 or 40 of them. If you see it going around, it's just amazing. And that is a testament to her legacy. And then the third one, which you may not have heard of, is Anita Pointer, one of the 3
Pointer Sisters.
Also Grammy winner, in the 80s, with hits like I'm So Excited and Neutron Dance,
Jump,
which Willie Hill's 2 soundtrack, I believe. Jump for My Love.
From Love Actually.
I grew up. Yes, as well. Yes. So all 3 of them, 3 of them grew up singing in church in Oakland. And if I remember correctly, now I think Bonnie, who was still alive. So yeah, a lot of loss at the end of the year. That's 6 major figures in about the space of 48 hours. And last year was the same thing, because I think we lost Betty White right around the end of the year.
Yeah, just shy of, she was a couple of weeks shy of her 100th birthday.
Yeah. Just some thoughts for people that we lost. Apparently, they weren't done yet before the time we did our show. On the upside, however, Mr. Grizzly, it looks like 2023 is going to be off to a very good start. Yes. We were talking about Andrew Tate, right? Okay, well, let's start with that one. Yes, our good friend Dakota made a couple of visuals for us. Freedumb 2 canceled. Winterpeg's Revenge. The Convoy canceled February 17th to 21st. Yeah, that didn't last long at all, eh?
Nope.
They were going to come to Ottawa. The Olive Branch thing, that was going to work. So they decided they were going to go to Winnipeg. And, well, that lasted about a week. And it seems that they're canceled.
Yeah, they announced going to Winnipeg on Christmas Day, and it's already been canceled because what was it? The best thing I saw this morning was Bowder saying my organization has been infiltrated and blah diddy blah diddy blah, and I kind of chuckled because one of the tweets I saw, and I'm pretty sure I retweeted it. Let me just double check. Did I retweet it? Maybe I didn't. Damn it! I meant to retweet it and I forgot. Was a fella saying, "Oh, so you don't like it when somebody you don't want in your neighborhood invades and wreaks havoc upon your life?" Gee, maybe that's the pot calling the kettle black. What's it feel like to have someone invade your space? I thought that was
Now,
pretty brilliant.
of course, that's what he says.
Yes, that's what he says.
Yes, right? Because, I mean, again, if there's one thing about these people that we know to be true is that they're constantly the victims in their own narrative.
Constantly.
Right? Constantly. But there's a wonderful article by Luc Lebrun in Press Progress entitled 2023 Freedom Convoy Reunion is officially canceled, convoy organizer says. And like you say, Mr. Grizzly, it's been canceled amid concerns that the convoy has been hijacked and infiltrated. James Potter, lead organizer of the group behind the group Canada Unity, which was behind the original Freedom Convoy last year, made the abrupt announcement in a press release posted on Facebook late on New Year's Eve. Oh, so it was another extinction at the end of 2022. In the statement, it reads, the Canada Unity Official Freedom Convoy 2.0 reunion that was scheduled for February 17th to 20th, 2023 is hereby officially being issued a 10-7 out of service, reads the statement from the desk of James Bowder. Desk.
The desk.
Sure. Yeah.
Something tells me that's his garage.
According to the press release, the decision to cancel this year's convoy reunion was made following a series of quote-unquote security breaches. The irony is... Bowder states, adding that he also received, quote, personal character attacks made against me and others on Team Canada Unity. Poor baby.
What a shame.
You need your whoopee. As a result of these security breaches that are beyond our control, I cannot in good conscience guarantee public safety, as I promised. You didn't do that the first time, buddy.
No.
Just saying. In the comment section of the press release that was posted on his Facebook page, Bowder further elaborated, we were hijacked, full stop. My press release was the hardest thing I've had to write as I feel I have let Canada down. No, honey, you didn't.
No.
You really didn't. I know how much hope, love, peace, and unity. Girl, please. The Freedom Convoy 23 would have created. I have been destroyed by these people, and I am done. Oh, please let yourself be done.
Please?
Please. Please. Bowder claims he has, quote-unquote, proof. Boy, this guy's working real hard. That an individual, quote, infiltrated and sabotaged my entire team, my web platform, and all of my data. Quote, this is dressed up. Lots of players are involved. As a result of being hijacked and infiltrated, Jay proceeding in 2023 with a legal team at his side. Oh, great. Yeah, spend your money on legal fees. The press release also distances the official Canada Unity Freedom Convoy from similar convoy-themed events planned for Ottawa, Winnipeg, Toronto, Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, Regina, and Quebec. Of course, it seems that he's still preoccupied with branding. Gee, I wonder from whom he learned that. He still wants to be known as the original and the best.
Uh-huh. Won't let anybody else steal the limelight.
So that happened, and then there was a lady who is the admin of a Facebook group based out of Ireland that is supporting James Top, who has been asking everybody on the site to basically stop using it so that she can delete it, because the things that are being said and going down on the site wouldn't be particularly helpful to Mr. Top's court case. Now, I don't know who she's been talking to for the past few years, but it's not exactly like this group likes to take direction. And it's not exactly like this group likes to be quiet.
Not in the least.
It's like, do you know who you're talking to? And then the third bit of good news is the JCCF, the Justice Coalition or something for Freedom, whatever that thing, and we reported on them, a bunch of losers. Their leader, John Carpay, which was the guy who had, I believe it was a minister or a member of the Manitoba legislature, followed and tracked to see if they were following their own COVID health rules to try to catch them in a gotcha moment. Apparently, he's turned himself into the police.
Oh, really?
Yes. And the Law Society of Manitoba has scheduled a disciplinary hearing sometime in February for him. So that's going to be interesting. Let's see if I can pull up the article here from David Kleiman-Heiga, good friend of ours who we've interviewed on the show. On his site, Alberta, he has an article titled "Social Conservative Activist John Carpay reported by legal advocacy group he heads to have been charged with obstruction of justice." Yes, has been charged with obstruction of justice by Winnipeg police and was arrested after turning himself into Calgary police Friday. Friday. That was that still 2022?
Yes.
I think it was.
Yes, it was.
Wow. Gee, whoever's regulating karma for the universe was busy the last couple of days of the year.
Definitely handing out karma in giant card decks, or they were making it rain karma, making it rain.
Making it rain. According to the New Year's Day statement published on the JCCF website, the charges apparently stem from a 2021 incident in which Mr. Carpay, a lawyer and social conservative activist, admitted hiring a private detective to snoop on the Chief Justice of the Manitoba Court of King's Bench. Yeah, sorry, it wasn't a member of the legislature. It was actually the Chief Justice of Manitoba's Court of King's Bench. I mean, that takes brass ones. I have a feeling that the court is not going to look very kindly upon trying to intimidate the court. To me, going out on a limb here. This is my first call of the year. Your Eager Beaver's calling it. Let's put it this way. The JCCF founder and president admitted on July 12, 2021, that his organization hired the private investigator to spy on the judge, who was presiding over a case conducted by the JCCF on behalf of 7 rural Manitoba churches that objected to public health orders made early in the COVID-19 pandemic. So again, this comes back to the brethren.
PBCC once again.
Yep. The Calgary-based lawyer, who for many years was a friend and political ally of former Alberta Premier Jason Kenney, made the admission after Manitoba Chief Justice Glenn Joyal revealed during a hearing into the JCCF case that he had been followed by a private detective. Mr. Carpay later said that the decision to have the gumshoe follow the judge was his alone. In one way, I believe that. In another way, I don't. I mean, I can see this decision being crazy enough that someone who is deluded enough to actually found such an organization would take it upon himself to do that on behalf of the organization and use the organization as a shield behind which to hide as he was doing it. And then I can actually also see this as a groupthink decision. You know, remember on our pub chat we thought like one person thinks something, maybe this is a bad idea, but you get 8 people, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should have a judge tail. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that. So, and he's falling on his sword. So, to try and protect the rest of the group. Either way, it doesn't look good. But
No.
at first blush, I wouldn't believe that he did this on his own.
Of course not.
This seems like a bad group decision.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, groupthink for sure.
It's like the bad ideas bear showed up from Avenue Q, and it's like, hey, I got a good idea. Why don't you spend all your rent money on beer, and then after you do that, have a judge tailed? Oh, you don't want to? That makes us very sad. Oh, you'll do it? Yay!
The internet is really, really great for porn.
Oh, Trekkie monster, we love you. Yesterday's statement by the JCCF seemed to imply Mr. Carpay was at least partly inspired to hire the private detective by the actions of Mr. Kenny and other senior members of his cabinet. Well. When they were caught in June 2021 by a still unidentified photographer as they violated Alberta's COVID-19 restrictions at a dinner meeting on top of the notorious Sky Palace. Yes, the Sky Palace social, sponsored involuntarily by Jameson.
Jameson's Irish whiskey.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That one always made me really laugh because it's not like Albertans were like really happy about the Sky Palace to begin with. Ooh, there you go.
Send more. Writer's tears. I'm out. It's empty. Send more. Send more.
I always found that one really weird, though, right? Because I think it was Redford that got caught with the Sky Palace thing, which like completely destroyed her. And then not only did they decide to keep it, but they decided to have socials during COVID there. And like, how did they think that was going to go down?
Well, they think they're above us when they don't. They fail to recognize, realize, and understand that they are our employees. They work for us. We pay them to govern. We need to remind governments all across this land, municipal, provincial, and federal, that they work for us. They are our employees. They need to be reminded of that.
Yep.
Because pulling shit like that is completely unacceptable when there are quite literally people starving in the streets of your damn city. And you're sitting up there during a time when everybody's supposed to be, staying home, social distancing, not doing anything of the sort. You're up there having a big party, getting drunk. Look, I get it. It's a stressful job. Blow off steam however you can. But don't do this freedom for me and not for thee. Because that's bullshit.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess when they were at the Sky Palace, they were technically above all of us.
Yeah.
I know, I'm bad. Quote, Mr. Carpay's decision to conduct...
I mean, we got to have a little bit of fun, right? Oh, we're losing you there. It's okay. He'll be back in a sec, folks.
Instances where those who imposed and enforced lockdown restrictions were found violating their own rules, part ignoring rules about face masks and social distancing, and jetting off to exotic holiday locations to countries without COVID restrictions, the JCCF statement said. According to the statement, the JCCF learned of the Winnipeg warrant and that Mr. Carpay thereafter, quote, immediately turned himself into Calgary Police Services. This charge is unexpected and without explanation, the statement complained. Again, girl, please. The events at issue took place over 18 months ago. Oh, so that makes it all right. We were criming such a long time ago. It's unexplainable. Okay. It's okay now. It's unexplainable that we would have a warrant for arrest for something that we did all of 18 long months ago.
Statute of limitations.
18 months is forever
right?
ago, right? Forever ago.
Yeah, it's completely
who remembers a year and a half back?
Not like we hurt anyone.
Nah, not at all. And the police have not previously contacted Mr. Carpay nor the Justice Center. Oh. Yes, because they usually let you know they're coming for you.
Stay where you are. We're coming to arrest you right now. Don't leave. Whatever you do, don't run away.
Yeah, we'll issue a warrant in 18 months, so please, don't make any plans. Man, when we say free Dumb and Dumber, another quote, Mr. Carpay has been cooperating with the investigation of this matter by the Law Society of Manitoba. The statement continued, at the time of the events, the Justice Centre's Board of Directors also took appropriate steps to strengthen governance and oversight of the organization while Mr. Carpay took a 7-week leave of absence.
7 weeks.
He's going to be busy for a while. The Justice Centre is deeply disappointed by the decision of Winnipeg Police to lay a criminal charge for events that took place more than 18 months ago, again, and that are already being dealt with appropriately. Yes, of course they would rather it just being dealt with at the Law Society level than actually have their founder and president be charged, convicted, and go to jail, because I'm guessing that when you call yourself the Justice Center Coalition for Freedom, or whatever it is they call themselves, that having your president charged and convicted and potentially jailed is really good for your reputation as a Justice Coalition Center. Huh?
Isn't that the same group? Isn't that the same group that handed out the Citizen of the Year award to Tamara Leach?
Yes, that is exactly the same group back in July. Jesus. You need better friends. You need better friends. You should have listened to your mama when they said not to hang around with those people at the end of the street.
Yeah, she was right.
She was right. A similarly worded, of course, fundraising email was sent yesterday to JCCF donors.
Oh, the grift continues is what you're saying.
I turned myself in for a crime. P.S. Send money.
Send money, yeah. Please send money. It's always send money. It's like Ramona. I was talking to JB the other day, and he was saying he got onto Ramona's. Somehow he's like, I don't know how it happened, man, but I got in there and I joined the Queen of the Republic of Canada, which, by the way, isn't a possible thing if it's a republic. He joined that and got in there, and he says, okay, let's see how long before they ask for money. He says, by the second email. First email was, welcome. We're having a second one was, our cause requires a lot of money to keep it going. How much can you donate? He's like, yep, 2 emails, and that was it. Or maybe it was 3. I can't remember exactly. Or, but either way.
Well, you know what? Let's do them one better. I just received a message here from Queen Beaver saying that our operations need to be helped and sustained through the year. So, P.S. Send money.
Send money, yeah. P.S. Send money.
I tell you, call yourself a queen, get yourself some green.
Apparently.
And apparently the JCCF is really, really, really dismayed that Mr. Carpay, quote, was held in jail for 23 hours in an isolated cell without a cot, mattress, blanket, or even a pillow, exclamation mark. Because the exclamation mark is supposed to make you feel more sorry for him.
Apparently.
And donate $5 extra than more than you would have donated otherwise.
I don't live television before, but apparently sometimes I don't watch the news because I'm a kid, and apparently Grandpa just gives me a remote after.
Apparently.
According to David Climenega, this turn of events does not seem as shocking as it apparently was to the JCCF. I love this guy's writing.
I love David. I think that guy's awesome.
You get 15 beaver points for a little bit of bitchiness there, David. I love ya. There was plenty of discussion about possible repercussions in media and legal circles at the time Mr. Carpay's action came to light, including the view such activities could be perceived as an obstruction of justice. Gee, ya think? Trying to intimidate the Chief Justice of the Queen's Bench might be perceived as obstruction of justice? Maybe.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Yep. Yep. At the time, the Chief Justice Joyal's revelation was described by the University of Alberta's Vice Dean of Law as, quote, obviously a tremendous lapse of judgment by the legal team involved. It seems to me, and one really that's without precedent as far as I'm concerned. And that's probably the understatement of last year. A tremendous lapse of justice. It takes your breath away, the mindset that an individual would engage in to take that course of action. I mean, for what purpose would that information be gathered except for an improper one? It's hard to imagine, said Eric Adams, a noted constitutional scholar. In the editorial the morning after Justice Joyal's courtroom revelation, the Winnipeg Free Press argued, quote, hiring a PI to follow a judge, not just any judge, but the judge handling the case that you are currently arguing in court, suggests very few possible motivations other than an effort to intimidate the judge in order to affect the outcome of the case. But
freedom.
But freedom. Yes. Manitoba's Justice Minister Friesen said in a press release that, quote, as Attorney General, I have written to the Law Society of Manitoba to request that it initiate an investigation into the conduct of lawyers with the Justice Centre for Constitutional Freedoms. This is an obvious invasion of privacy, and it is difficult to believe that these actions were not to influence the outcome of the court case. The lawyers involved must be held accountable for their actions in order to maintain public confidence in the administration of justice, to protect the integrity of the judiciary, and uphold the rule of law. As noted in yesterday's JCCF statement, Mr. Carpay took what was described at the time as an indefinite leave from his job as president after the story broke, and the organization's board published a statement condemning the action, stating that it was not informed, apologizing to the judge and promising, quote, all such activity has ceased and will not reoccur in the future. Problem is, this shouldn't have occurred in the first place. And as lawyers, you were probably reasonably expected to know that.
Well, it's kind of a job requirement, isn't it?
To know matters. You'd think.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, it's your job.
Yes. So, and then the last quote that I have from the article here is in August 30th, 2021, story at Toronto Star quoted a former JCCF former board member saying, quote, when a compromised president leaves and then the board seemingly, suddenly, anyway, to those of us looking from the outside, nearly vaporizes and the offending president returns, that tells me there was a kind of a putsch. Because they had an interim president at the board that served only 7 weeks before Mr. Carpay returned at the end of August 2021. So, yeah, he was removed for 7 weeks at the time, and he just quietly slid back in.
Slithered on in.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Yes, I stand gently corrected.
Slithered on
back on in. Yes. So kids, I don't know about you, but for me, 2023 is off to a really, really, really good start.
I think what's happening is the universe is balancing itself out. All the bad karma that was thrown upon us over the last 3 years is going to get an answer. And Mother Nature, along with the justice system, the criminal justice system, and our Westminster system of parliamentary democracy, is going to hold those responsible for those ne'er-do-wells responsible for their actions. And a little bit of Schadenfreude on my part. Yeah, definitely a little bit of Schadenfreude, and I don't feel the least bit guilty for it. They've done terrible things over the last few years, and you know what? Everything you do in this life needs to be answered for in some way, shape, or form. So, actions, consequences, FAFO.
Schadenfreude, making me glad that I'm not you. Not that I ever would be. Holy crap.
No kidding.
So, looking at some comments from the kids here, Linda M., they're afraid if he's dealing with jail, he might inform on them for being part of it. I would worry
I
about
think
that.
that's true. Yeah.
I would
Oh, absolutely.
worry about that. Yep. Kit Mike H says, not too swift to hire a private dick to follow a JP. I would also agree. And Bowder also had, air quotes, evidence JT was going to lock us down for 2 years.
We were never locked down in the first place.
Skippy refused to go down to Winnipeg.
To bring them donuts, yeah. Yeah, we were never locked down in the first place. There was no lockdown that ever took
Yes.
place.
Wondered also, PP will have to deliver donuts to JT. Kit Karma. Oh no, who's PP going to deliver coffee to? Well, I mean, he's too busy pretending that he's tough on crime. He's trying to, remind us that, not hoping that we forget that. Oh, how long? 11 months ago. It was so long ago. It doesn't matter that he was actually providing aid and comfort to domestic terrorists.
Oh, we'll remind him. We'll remind him every chance we get by showing the photos. And people out there in the Twitterverse and in the world and on YouTube are reminding him on a constant and daily basis of all the terrible, horrible things he said and done in the last couple of years to support these deplorables, as the saying goes. So he'll know. He's going to know. We'll just keep reminding him.
Yep. Kit Not Clayton or Tony said, convoy is dead, but remain vigilant. Antifa infiltrated the convoy. Boo-hoo. And Nona, good morning, Nona. Same assholes that thought it was a great idea in February 22.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you kids are wonderful. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, and about the Pointer Sisters, Nona says, saw the Pointer Sisters in the 80s in Toronto at Old Wooden Stadium at the CNE. I always wanted to see them in concert. How was it, Nona? I'd like to know if you remember it and have good memories of it.
I honestly was never a big
that
fan.
would have been that concert I would have liked to have seen.
Yeah, I was never a big fan.
Oh, really?
I did see Donna Summer.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw Donna Summer a few years ago before she died, thank goodness. So, and she put on a great show. I was just never a big Pointer Sisters fan.
Yeah.
It wasn't that they didn't have talent or skill, or their music never did it for me. But I love Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I love Donna Summer. So.
Yeah. No. Hey, that's legit. I knew a little bit of the stuff before, but it wasn't until like the early 80s with I'm So Excited. And I remember actually from that song, they actually released it, I believe, and nothing really happened with it for the long. And then they re-released like several months later, and that's when it
was
hit.
part of the
and then that was the
Beverly Hills soundtrack, Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack, I think it was on. Or was it Neutron Dance? Neutron Dance, right. Sorry.
Neutron Dance was. But it was on the same album, the album Breakout, I think it was. And they had something like 4 or 5 hits off it. It's the same one that had Jump for My Love. And it was like one of the biggest albums of the year that year.
Yeah.
And
still, they never did it for me.
Not too much after that. They had Me My Arm afterwards. Then they had the song
I also never
Twist My Arm after that, which were pretty good. Didn't get as much radio play.
Well, growing up, everybody I knew had ABBA Gold, had that album ABBA Gold because it had all their hits on it. I still to this day can't stand ABBA. I can't stand them. Now, here's what it is.
Oh, really?
I can't stand their singing voices. I hate their singing voices. It's like a dental drill in my head. Their singing voices annoy the hell out of me. Not taking away from the compositions because their music is really catchy and popular. I've heard U2 do a version of Dancing Queen and I actually liked it. But it's because I like Bono's voice and I didn't like ABBA's voices. They annoyed me. And somebody said, well, you just don't like high-pitched voices. Not true. I love Led Zeppelin. Right? Love Led Zeppelin. Love Greta Van Fleet. So it's just that particular pitch of their voices, same thing with the Pointer Sisters. It just didn't do it for me. everybody knows I love music, all kinds of music, but
Okay.
ABBA and Pointer Sisters just didn't do it for me. Again, not taken away from their success. I mean, they've both been incredibly successful, and they obviously connect with millions of people, but it was just never for me. You know, never for me.
It's funny you mention ABBA because, like, when I go visit the in-laws pretty much every morning, there were two bands apparently that they listened to when they were in Romania. ABBA was one, and Ace of Base was the other. So when I'm at the in-laws place, and I wake up in the morning because and my Beaver Sweetie's father is, I think, 75, and wakes up early in the morning and does like about an hour of yoga.
Okay.
I mean, like all the things where he's like puts his hands down and has his head upside down and is complete, like, he does like handstands and headstands and the whole thing, right? He's 75. Does that every morning.
Well,
Slim as you can be, you know, like this, he eats well. But ABBA and Ace of Base make him happy.
See, I never liked Ace
So
of Base either.
Pretty much every morning I'm there. At some point it's on, and, you know, I'm just like, well, if you don't like one, you don't like the other, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. Well, and very similar, but also I called Ace of Base the new ABBA when I was in the clubs, and I had to replay All That She Wants Is Another Baby so many times. I swear to God, if I hear it again, I'm going to punch somebody. Like, I'm so sick of that song. It's just beyond belief how annoying it is. Oh, man, she wants that. And Macarena. If you play Macarena within 10 feet of me, you're getting slapped. I'm just going to mute you for a sec because of the truck backing up. There's a truck backing up, and it's pretty loud, so I'll just mute you for a sec there. Give me a wave when it stops, when that sound stops, because it's pretty loud over here. I'm sure they're just doing a delivery or something like that. It is a Starbucks. Okay, we're good to go. All right, you're back. Yeah, you're back. There you go. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, you're back.
Am I back? Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Do you have something right now, Mr. Grizzly? I'm going to look for the net here.
Yeah,
on my list.
I have something. I got to show you this. This is definitely a incel MGTOW individual. This is his list of requirements for any woman to date me. Just watch this. This is something else.
Oh Lord! Oh Lord!
So you don't have to worry about that part. All right, so next up, it's a big one. Next up, a woman must be willing and ready to give me sex anytime I want it. That's right, anytime, any time of the day. Obviously not in public. Well, hell, you know.
We can just stop right now. We can just stop right now.
If we're in a situation, maybe in public, but you know, if you want to do some kinky shit, but.
Wow. So there's a fella who's never going to spend time with a woman unless he's paid her money. Because, geez.
There's a reason he's wearing sunglasses in that video.
Oh, yeah. That goes on for 2 minutes. There's a reason
he's wearing sunglasses in that video. I'm sorry. Did you say like on the bottom?
2 minutes. Goes on for 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
And yeah, and we saw 24 seconds. That was more than enough. 24 seconds of that is torture.
That's not a good. Let's just put it. Who opens with that shit?
I don't know. MGTOW incels. But let's call them V-cells, not incels, because they're voluntarily celibate by behaving in that manner.
Yeah, but like, could you imagine them at a bar on ladies' night? It's like, hi, I'm Rick. If you want to, hi, I'm Mick. You look good. You need to give me sex whenever I want. Who opens with that? Like maybe a little hello, how you doing, ladies? You know. maybe dinner and a movie. I don't know. Something. Something. Holy crap.
I think that sums up the average cat. Right? Remember, cats have servants. Dogs have owners. Cats have servants. And that's clearly. So he's like, "Get off the counter." And I'm like, "Get off my ass." On the phone, sipping a martini.
Oh man!
Did you notice? Did you notice
That's
that
so funny.
the olive in the martini glass was actually a goldfish? I thought that was pretty funny.
No.
Yeah.
um, it's January yesterday was January 1st. It's the first business day of January, and of course you have conservatives talking about all of Trudeau's new taxes. um, so there's some new taxes coming on. Like for example, there'll be a 1%. There'll be a 1% fee on the value of your property for an owner. This doesn't apply to residents or people who are in Canada, with a work permit. So there are lots of exceptions to that. But that case, and an anti-flipping tax. So if you've owned your home for less than a year and you sell again, it will now be treated as business income as opposed to personal income. And I believe there's a couple of extra taxes on alcohol or something like that. But they're going to try and spin that as taxes, coming to eat out of your pocket. But obviously, accounting ledgers have two sides, and so that there was also indexation adjustments for personal income tax and benefit announcements. So, according to the CRA, each year, certain personal income tax and benefit amounts are indexed to inflation using the Consumer Index data as reported by Statistics Canada. Increases to tax bracket thresholds, amounts relating to non-refundable credits, and most other amounts below take effect on January 1st of the applicable year. So, for example, the tax brackets, this thing that they used to call tax bracket creep, they would never change. Your salary would go up and all that kind of stuff, then you would fall into a higher tax bracket. So a few years ago, they have added indexation to the tax bracket so that doesn't happen, so that you don't accidentally fall into another tax bracket just because you got a raise or an adjustment, cost of living adjustment for inflation. But there are also increases in amounts for certain income tax benefits like the goods and services tax credit, the Canada Child Benefit, and the Canada Disability Benefit. All of those increases will take effect on July 1st to coincide with the beginning of the program year for the payments of these benefits. And just to let you know, the rate at which they will be indexed this year is quite different than the ones before because we had higher inflation, right? So in 2021, It had a 1% boost for inflation. In 2022, it had a 2.4 benefit. But for 2023, they will go up by 6.3%.
Wow.
6.3%. So while Polliver and friends are telling you that he's coming to tax you into oblivion so that you can't pay for your house anymore, if you're receiving any of these benefits or you're filing your taxes, your tax bracket levels, all of these are going to increase by about 6.3%.
I'll take that.
Yeah, we'll take that. So that's from the Revenue Canada website. Unfortunately, I can't share the link because I'm on my laptop and
remote Wi-Fi is
I don't have
sketchy
two
at
screens,
best.
so I can't share one to the other. Yeah. Look for it on the CR website if you want more detailed information. It's taxation adjustment for income tax and benefit.
Okay.
And then
So I have a.
You will talk for a little bit, Mr. Grizzly. I'm going to find the newspaper article about.
Okay. Yeah, I have a clip here of Skippy.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna. Yeah, I have a clip here of Skippy. I'm gonna mute you for a minute because there's a lot of background noise. So I'm gonna play this little clip. We'll just let this speak for itself, shall we? This is its own thing. What the hell is he going on about? Literally, he's going on about how, he was asked what would he do for the next pandemic, and he's like, a potential future pandemic. He's like, well, I can't say. In other words, he has no fucking plan. None. And he doesn't care. I don't have a laboratory and I didn't invent the virus, so nice try, Skippy. Nice try. Goes full QAnon in a press conference. Like, you guys couldn't hear it? Oh, shit. Really? Hang on. Let's see. Let me just try it again then. That was weird. Okay, it should work this time. Did you hear it at all, Douglas? Could you hear it? I'll try it again.
No, not at all.
Okay, let me try it again. Okay, so this should work. Give me a sec here. Let me know if it works, because it should be.
Personal autonomy over their bodies to decide what they do with the vaccine. And that's the policy that I took in the COVID crisis. It's the policy that I think is the right one. And you're asking me to comment on what I would do on if there was some new pandemic that we haven't heard of. I can't comment on that because I haven't seen that pandemic. We would be inventing a virus, and I'm not in the business of, I don't have a laboratory in which to do that, and I don't want to. So I can't answer a question about a hypothetical in that nature. Personal.
Like, really? Really, Skippy? Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah, really. Yeah, I mean, this is like really, really stupid thing, right? It's like, it's like, I haven't seen what a new virus looks like, so I can't tell you how I will respond. This was a layup, right? This was an opportunity for him to show some compassion, show some sincerity, to show some empathy, to show some, well, if there was a pandemic, what I would do. And he just like completely chose to take a whiff on that completely. He didn't even go for the low-hanging fruit, such as, like this, we'll evaluate what happened in this one and we'll try to make corrections so that we can, he could have even said that as a platitude. It's like, no, we just like made the reference to conspiracy theorists, right? Like, well, I don't have a laboratory, so I can create a new virus, so I don't know what a new virus would do, so I can't really answer that question. He's got nothing.
He's got nothing.
He's got nothing. Like, not even a plan to say, like us making sure that our emergency preparedness is up to snuff for the next time. Not even that. Just nothing. So yeah, that was a complete myth. I don't know how much, because there's more and more people arriving. Am I still clear enough?
We should probably wrap up because the noise is getting to be quite a bit.
Yeah, I think that would probably be a good idea. Just going to finish this little bit here about the taxes. You know what? Actually, we'll save it for the next episode, and I'll do a write-up, and it'll be a little clearer that way.
Yeah, that works.
So, kids, thank you very much for joining us for our first episode of the new year. Kit PJ, Kit Linda, Kit Elaine, thank you so very much for joining us. Kit Karma. I'm trying to remember who else I saw today. Just scrolling down a bit here. Kit Mike, I believe, was
Elaine.
also on this. Yes, Mike H. Thank you very much for joining us. Yes, Elaine. Kit, not Clayton, not Tony. No, not we love you so much. Thank you so much for coming this morning. And anybody else who joined us today, thank you so very much. Oh, Pat, I believe Kit Pastagate joined us as well.
Yes, he did.
I had to back in at one point, so I don't have the chat from the whole episode to see who else was on there. If you like this, please tell your friends. And you can download us everywhere where you get your podcasts featuring a grizzly bear and a beaver, on the Dean Blundell Network, Google, Apple, Spotify. If you're listening to us on Apple or any other service that allows you to give ratings or reviews, please do so. We appreciate that very much. If you want to find us, or have us come directly to you, as soon as we have a new episode, please subscribe to us via our pod page, podpage.com/True North Eager Beaver with a hyphen between all of those words. If you'd like to encourage us to do more, we work for tips. You can find our tip jar at coffee.com. That's ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, all in lowercase letters, one word. And if you're a savvy person and want to get something for your money, we have merch for you. You can still get Eager Beaver seasonal holiday teas and Mr. Grizzly Civic teas at our site on Dell Networks webpage, and I'm sure Mr. Grizzly will put that up for you. DaneBlundell.com, I believe /s/store, I think it is. So if you get that, we would appreciate that very much. Oh, no, sorry, I was wrong. DaneBlundell.square.site/shop/ well, that's the full one. That's the one directly to us. /shop/True North Eager Beaver with hyphen between each words /10. But I believe it would be then DaneBlundell.com/s/shop and not store. Anyway, I can't remember it off the top of my head. You know where it is. If you go to the site, just click on that shop button on the top and everything will be great. I think I'm forgetting something, but I can't remember which one it is because I don't have my text in front of us. But hey, it's the new year, right? Thank you very kids for joining us. Like I said, I wanted to make sure to get a show out to you today, so got myself over to the Starbucks to do the best that we could. But on Wednesday, I'll be back at the regular Beaver Lodge, and we should have something a little tidier and neater for you. Mr. Grizzly, before we go, do you have words of wisdom?
I'm hoping that everybody had a healthy, safe, and happy New Year's Eve, and that this coming year brings joy, happiness, love, and prosperity to everyone. And that's that. Let's roll the credits.
And I hope so too.
The True North Eager Beaver podcast is an Eager Beaver Mr. Grizzly collaboration. Research, story, and guest curation, and copy written by the Eager Beaver. Recording, production, editing, and additional research by Mr. Grizzly. Music courtesy of Bensound Royalty Free Music. Once again, thank you to our founding sponsors, the Pepper Master, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing and CanadianTarot.com. And thank you to Pete Jarvis for our artwork. We love it. Kits, we'll talk to you real soon. Bye.
Take care. See ya.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver media podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.